Hello, welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be telling you my top 5 players born in Africa to ever play basketball. Because I'm doing this video because of the fact that we obviously had the recent thing, Team World versus Team USA in that charity match. So that is why, that inspired me to make this video on my top 5 basketball players that were born or, are somehow related to Africa. So we're going to start off with 5. We're going to go to 1. Yes, these are in order. So starting off with number 5. Is it Serge Ibaka? No, it is not Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka is not included on this list, which may seem surprising to you. But I took Andre Iguodala over Serge Ibaka. It could be a very big debate on this topic, but I picked Andre Iguodala because of the fact that in the 2011-2012 season, he was an all-star, putting up, in 62 games. He played 35.6 minutes, putting up 12.4 points per game. And you can also add 5.5 assists and 6.1 rebounds to that, which are incredible numbers, especially for someone who's playing small forward. To be able to pass the ball like that is incredible. And he had many seasons. He had one season where he played 39.9 minutes for the 76ers, and he had one season where he, all-star snub and 19.9 points, and he played all 82 games, yet he wasn't included as an all-star. So, this guy could have been a 3-time all-star. So, I feel like with Iggy, he won 2 finals. Serge Ibaka hasn't won any finals, even though he has been to a finals appearance before. And then the other thing, too, with Andre Iguodala, that he actually won finals MVP for the Warriors when they won their first championship. He played a big role in that because of the fact that, they had, at small forward, they really had him and Harrison Barnes, and someone really needed to step up to guard the likes of LeBron James. And Andre Iguodala was able to step up, guard LeBron James to the best of Iggy's ability, and was able to almost not shut LeBron James down, but do a very good job. And, that's why, with also the points the points total he had in that, it's why he was really able to win that finals as a, that's why he was able to win the finals. And if you think about it this way, too, with Iggy, it's the fact that, with Iggy, he's fine being that 6th man, you can play him on any team. He'll play off the bench as long, he's in a winning situation. He just wants to be a winning player, as you can see by, he could be a star right now on some team, leading a team. But he's not that. He's a bench player for the Warriors, and he accepts that role, which I really like about him. Moving on to number 4, we do have Manute Bol, because of the fact that I didn't want to put him any higher because his highest points in a season was in the 1988-89 season, his 4th season when he was 26 years old, with the Warriors too, so 2 Warriors players. However, the highest point total for him was 3.9 points. I don't really see me putting him higher in this list because of the fact, if you have, some seasons he would get as low as, like, when he played for the, I believe the Bullets it was. He played 2 games for the Bullets and didn't score a single point. That that type of thing. He played. You can put it this way: he played at 71 games for this Philadelphia, and with that Philly team, 1.5 points. Right. So you can kind of see do I really want someone higher on this list who's putting up a max of 4 points, a low of 0 points? I don't really want that higher on my list. However, Manute Bol was an incredible player. In that 3.9 points in the season, he was coming off the bench. He started only 4 games. He played 80 games. He had 4.3 blocks. We can even look at his rookie season. When he played 80 games, started 60, only 3.7 points. However, he got 5 blocks. He got more blocks than his total number of points. That's incredible that he got 5 blocks. And that's exactly in his rookie season. And it really is incredible how Manute Bol did that. And, it's crazy to think someone who was almost like 3.9 points, we're still considering him as one of I don't even know, like, at least top 200 player of all time or something. He only scored 3.9 points, but it was defensive side of the game. Even he had about 6 rebounds per season. And that's why we consider him one of the greatest. Obviously, he had the height of 7'7", so it was pretty easy for him to block some shots. And if you look at the NBA all-time block leaders, and if you look at the list, he had 2,086 total blocks, but that was only in 10 seasons. That's pretty incredible. In 624 games, he had 2,086 blocks, which is one of the best ratios ever. In fact, put it this way, it's the second best ratio ever. You know why that is? In those 624 games, he had about the 2,086 blocks. Number 3, it's Hakeem Olajuwon. In this list, I'll review you what exactly this list is. Number 3, it's Hakeem Olajuwon, and number 1, it's Mark Eden. Number 4, David Robinson. 5, Elmore Smith, Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Sean Bradley, George Johnson, Patrick Ewing. I can keep going down and down about so many great players, and Manute Bol is second on this list. And he played 10 seasons, and in those 10 seasons, this is what it is. 3.34 blocks per game in the regular season. 3.34 blocks. The only one higher than that is Mark Eden with 3.50. And that's incredible too. However, if you go to number 2, it's Manute Bol with 3.34. Hakeem Olajuwon is 3 with 3.09. You see that? 3.34 and 3.09. That difference from someone who is considered one of the greatest centers of all. Probably some people consider him as the greatest center of all time. Some people consider him the greatest defensive center of all time. However, Manute Bol got an outstanding 3.34 blocks per game. That's incredible. And that's why I really decided, you know what? I'll put him on this team. The 7'7" man is on the team. And the other thing too, I'm not even done yet. NBA single game leaders and records for blocks. Ready for this? Who's number 1? Shaquille O'Neal's number 1, but you know who's also 1? Manute Bol. He's tied for the number 1 position in terms of NBA single game leaders and records for blocks, which means in one game he got the most amount of blocks. He got 15 blocks in a single game. And the only other 2 people to do that is Shaquille O'Neal. And you ready for the other one? Manute Bol. So Manute Bol had 2 games where he had 15 blocks. Shaquille O'Neal had the 1 game where he got 15 blocks. However, Manute Bol got 2 games where he got 15 blocks. He had other games too. He's in the, tied for number 6 position where he got 13 blocks. Four times he got 12 blocks in a game. That's bizarre. That is outstanding. He had a game where he got, I could keep going down. He had another game where he got 11 blocks. Let me keep going down and keep seeing, I see the likes of, when Hassan Whiteside gets his 10 blocks and gets almost close to a triple-double just with, blocks and rebounds and points. And if I keep, I can keep going down. We see the likes of Dikembe Mutombo, David Robinson, Dwight Howard, Serge Ibaka, so many great defensive players. But over and over again, I see 1 for Manute Bol, 2 for Manute Bol, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11? He had 11 games. And this could be more too. But from this list, I see that he has 11 games where he had exactly 10 blocks. That's insane. 11 times where he got 10 blocks. And then 2 times where he got 15 blocks. It it's crazy how good this guy is. And that's we're gonna move on to our number 3 player after an incredible. The reason why I didn't put Manute Bol higher is obviously because of his points total, but because the number 3 player is Hall of Famer, recent Hall of Famer, Dikembe Mutombo, otherwise known as Dikembe Mutombo Mukamba Jean-Jacques Wamuto. Yeah. The 7'2" man, Mount Mutombo, is a Hall of Famer. He's also a 6-time All-Defensive player. That's pretty crazy. He was a 4 times Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm not 100% sure with this, but I believe that one time when he got Defensive Player of the Year, he wasn't even in the first team All-Defensive team. So I think it should be really 7 times All-Defensive team because I think he was snubbed from that team. Don't quote me on that, though. And he was also 3 times All-NBA. He was on the All-Rookie team. And he was also an 8 times All-Star, which is what led him to being a Hall of Famer. Now, he played an outstanding career. In just his rookie season, he was in the All-Star game where he had, that season he had 12.3 rebounds, including 4.5 offensive rebounds, which is pretty incredible. And, 3 blocks per game in that season, 16.6. That was only a start of his career. If you go to, let's see, where should I go to? Let's go to the 1995 to 96 season where he had 4.5 blocks per game, 11 points, 11.8 rebounds. And yes, he was in the All-Star game. And he was in the All-Star game for I said 8 times he was an All-Star. And he played an outstanding career where he had, he played an incredible career. He played his first, 5 seasons for Denver and moved to Atlanta, played there for, 4.5 seasons about. And then, because he only played 49 games in one season before he went to Philly for 26 games, and he played there for, 106 games he played at Philly. And then he moved to the New Jersey Nets, played 24 games there, moved to the Knicks, played 65 games there, and then played his last 5 seasons at Houston until the age of 42. So he played to 25 until 42. Like, Dikembe Mutombo, he could have literally played, if he played 20, he could have played 22 seasons if he started at, the age of 20. A lot of his points totals will not go down in terms of his all-time points because if you look at it, like, in his last 5 seasons when he was 38 to 42, when a player gets that old, you don't really seem to play as much minutes and whatnot. So his point totals, he had seasons where he would only have, 1 point a game and that type of thing because of the fact that, when you get older, you're not playing as much minutes. However, he played 75 games one season and only had 2 points per game, that type of thing. And if you look at blocks of all time, he's actually number 2 on the rankings, only behind Hakeem Olajuwon, who was an incredible defensive player. But at number 2 is Dikembe Mutombo with 3,289 blocks in his career. At third, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he's along the all-time greats. And it's hard not to say that, Dikembe Mutombo is not an outstanding defensive player. He was he's top 10 on, for me at least, I think he's top 10 all-time defensive lists. And possibly even top 7, maybe top 5. I'm not really sure about top 5, but it could be top 5 even. But, Dikembe Mutombo, amazing player, and that's why we have Mount Mutombo as our player in our list at number 3. Moving on to number 2, it is hard not to go with the man Steve Nash. What nationality is he really? Is he Canadian? He seems like he's Canadian, American, and South African. He seems like he's just every nationality because he's always helping out in Canada and whatnot, and that's really what we think of him. We think he's a true Canadian. However, he was actually born in Johannesburg, he was born in South Africa, right? So, it's hard, but that's why we have him on the list, because of the fact he was born in South Africa. And let's actually look at, Steve Nash and his career. If we look at it, he had an outstanding career. We all know he had an outstanding career. Like Dikembe Mutombo, he was an 8 times All-Star. And this time with Steve Nash, though, he was an MVP 2 times, which is incredible. That's incredible. He was an MVP 2 times. That has to mean he's among, the great players to ever play in the NBA. He's top 5 probably in terms of best point guards ever, at least in the top 10. And, he rarely ever played a full season in the NBA. It's, quite surprising when you think about it. In his long career, he played from 1996 to the 97 season. He played till the 2013-2014 season. So that right there shows that he had a successful career, considering he played for that long. However, in that career, there's only 2 seasons where he played 82 games, and that was when he was 27 and 28. And he did get the All-Star nod in those seasons, where, he averaged about 17.9 points and 7.7 assists. However, if we keep going down, we go to when he was 30 years old. Steve Nash was really a player that got better as his career went on. So in his rookie season, he wasn't as known. He only had 3.3 points and 2.1 assists. However, that's when he only played 10.5 minutes a game. He quickly rose from that, playing 21.9 minutes the season after to 31.7 minutes the season after that. And from there, he really became that great point guard he was. And not till the 2000-2001 season, when he was 26 years old, was he really putting up. That's the first time he put up over 10 points, where he did 15.6 points and 7.3 assists. And the season after, when he was 27, he was an All-Star. So he really was a late bloomer, which we don't see a lot in the NBA. We usually see you have a career where you're great at 23, 24, 25, but then you drop off, or someone like LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, where they were great. It felt like they always had their prime in their career, right? And but he only got an All-Star when he was 27 years old. He got another one 28. And then this is what's really surprising. He actually got the All-Star nod when he was 30, 31, 32, and 33. And in those seasons, this is what really it shows. When he was 32, that's when, I felt like he was doing his best, 31, 32. Because when he was 31, put it this way, he had free throw percentage .921. And that's incredible, but 10.5 assists in that season and 18.8 points. That was his best scoring season. And he was, 30? He was 31 years old, and he was putting up 18.8 points. And he didn't do that anywhere before in his career. If you look at it the season after, when he was 32, he also got an All-Star nod, where he 11.6 assists. That was his best passing season in his career, where he got 11.6 assists, which is outstanding, and 18.6 points, his second best scoring in his career. And that was probably his best season, the 2006-2007 season for Phoenix. And, even if you look at it, when he was 35, he got an All-Star nod. He had 11 assists in that season, 16.5 points. To do that when you're 35, score 16.5 points and 11 assists, that's pretty incredible. And get this, he had 12.5 points and 10.7 assists in the 2011-2012 season. Guess what? He was an All-Star. So you kind of see how it is, how he was more of a late bloomer, and he just had an incredible career. I mean, it's hard not to consider him one of the best point guards of all time, and it's especially hard not to include him on this. If you don't include him on this list, I don't know where your head's at. I don't know, what you're doing, because Steve Nash is one of the greatest players to ever play basketball, and we know this because we see what he can do. And somehow he is not number 1 on this list. He is number 2 because we have the number 1 player as Hakeem Olajuwon, Hakeem the Dream. Hakeem Olajuwon was an outstanding player. As I said before, he has the most blocks of all time. And if you look at what these players all have in comparison, maybe not Steve Nash, but Andre Iguodala, Dikembe Mutombo, Andre Iguodala, Manute Bol, Dikembe Mutombo, and Hakeem Olajuwon are known for their great defense. We look at Manute Bol, Dikembe Mutombo, Hakeem Olajuwon. They're some of the best defenders we've known to ever walk on an NBA basketball court, in terms of blocking shots. So I feel like there's a trend. And even Andre Iguodala, that's why he got the Finals MVP. He locked down LeBron James. So I feel like there's a trend over. I feel like African players are really, well known for their defense and whatnot, including, a rising player now, and Joel Embiid is very good on that defensive side. So, I really see that trend in that. And if you look at Hakeem Olajuwon, I'll put it this way to you. Hakeem Olajuwon, in the 1989-90 season, when he was an all-star then, are you ready for this? In 82 games, 38.1 minutes, he had 14 total rebounds, 4.6 blocks, 2.9 assists, 2.1 steals, and the point total was absurd, where he had 24.3 points. Now let's look at the 1992-93 season. Played 82 games, started 82, 39.5 points, 4.2 blocks, 1.8 steals, 3.5 assists, 13 total rebounds, and 26.1 points. That's incredible, especially for a center that he had seasons where he averaged over 3 assists. That's incredible for a center. Plus, to have about 2 steals per game, that's incredible. But he had about he had a season where he had 4.6 blocks. And then he had a season, his best scoring season is when he had 27.8 points. He was just an incredible player. He got the All-Star nod in his first season in the NBA, leading up to, and this is what I find more incredible than everything. He only won 1 MVP, and that was in the 1993-94 season, where he had 11.9 total rebounds, 3.7 blocks, 27.3 points per game. That's incredible. And you can add 3.6 assists to that. He's tied for the best passing season. He's obviously in the Hall of Fame. He's a 12 times All-Star, 2 times NBA champion, 12 times All-NBA, 1984-85 All-Rookie. He was a 2 times Defensive Player of the Year. He was 9 times on the All-Defensive team. He was 1 MVP. He won 2 Finals MVP. So in the 2 Finals, in the 2 NBA champs he won, he was a 2-time Finals MVP. And he was in the Hall of Fame. To sum his career up, he was a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest centers of all time. And I have to say, if you really look at his career, he's the greatest bust of all time. And what do I mean by that? The fact that he was in the same draft as Michael Jordan, who was selected 3rd overall. He was the greatest bust of all time. Because Hakeem Olajuwon was number 1. Michael Jordan was number 3. In fact, Michael Jordan probably had that better career than Hakeem Olajuwon. It's crazy to think there was a better player in that draft than Hakeem Olajuwon, who is an incredible 7-foot beast. Hakeem the Dream. And, it's not like some stars in the NBA, they're considered stars, but they put up a lot of shots, you may consider them ball hogs and whatnot, and they only have, a 10-player efficiency rating. Hakeem Olajuwon had a 23.6 player efficiency rating. Is there one thing that he's not that good at in his career? Like I can go through all of these, stats and whatnot about Hakeem Olajuwon, how good he was. If you look at the playoffs, he made the playoffs when he was 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 39. All of those seasons, he made the playoffs. Now, let's look at the playoffs. In the 1987-88 playoffs, when he played 4 games, when he lost with the Houston team, 40.5 minutes per game, right? 16.8 total rebounds, 2.8 blocks per game, and 37.5 points. Now tell me he's not good. Tell me this player is not a stud. Now, let's look when he won his rings in the 1993 season and the 1994 season. In the 1993-94 season, when he was at the age of 31, he won it in 23 games where he had 43 points. And look at his points. Hakeem Olajuwon, Hakeem the Dream, in those 43 minutes he played, he had 11 rebounds. He had 4 blocks per game. And he had 28.9 points. And that wasn't even, his best finals. Or his best playoffs, I should say, for winning the finals. When he was 32, getting up in that age, we thought, NBA fans might have thought he might lost, all his skills. 22 games, 42.2 points, played less minutes, by 0.8. Because he had 10.3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2.8 blocks, and 33 points per game. Tell me that in the 22 playoff game, he had 33 points. That's incredible. Now put it this way. You're not ready for these numbers. Playoffs per 100 possessions. And this is why I got these stats all prepared on, I have a document with all my statistics that I'm using for this. And, it just blows my mind every time I look back to these statistics. 1993-94 season. In those 23 playoff games per 100 possessions he has, 13.7 total rebounds, 5.3 assists, 2.2 steals, 5 blocks, and 35.9 points. I'll just let you take in those stats because, the season after will blow your mind. Are you ready for this? 1994-95 season when he won his second ring. 12.7 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1.5 steals, 3.5 blocks per game, 40.7 points per game. Don't remember this though. This is per 100 possessions. So in 100 possessions, he had 40.7 points. That basically means in 100 possessions, every 5 possessions, he's going to make a basket. In 5 possessions, he'll make at least 1 basket. And, in that 100 possessions, he'll have 5.5 assists. So every about, we'll say 20, every 20 possessions that the Rockets have, he will have 1 assist. So you put it this way, in 20 possessions, he'll make 4 baskets, and he'll have 1 assist. Just imagine how much that would help the team. If you did that much for a team, if you put it in that way, that's insane. That is bizarre. And I really with his he was just an incredible player. He leads all-time most blocks ever. You know, this is by far one of the best players we've ever seen walk on a basketball court. And this is one of the best, you know, block trotters we've ever seen. You know, number one on the all-time blocks list. It's just incredible. But you can even go further in terms of, you know, how well he really is, how much points he scored, how well he impacted in the playoffs. The kid born in Nigeria became an absolute NBA legend. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video. You know, if you didn't, feel free to leave the dislike button, but let me know in the comment section why you didn't like this video. Because this personally was one of my favorite videos to make. It's why it's carried on for 30 minutes. This is going to take a lot of time to render and whatnot. 31 minutes now. But yeah, this was an incredible video for me to make at least. You know, it really shows how good some African players can be. And it really showed me how good the African, you know, players born in Africa are at defensive wise. You know, when I first looked, I didn't even know about this until I actually made the video. So it's very interesting for me to, you know, go over. And I do hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you did enjoy it. Make sure to go to 4footnut.wordpress.com to make sure to subscribe and follow to my blog. Thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, that's going to do it. Have a wonderful, have a spectacular, have an amazing day. And I just can't wait for the NBA season to start. Bye.